So then I got this email from this guy after I sent an email out to my newsletter list where I'm helping network marketers build their business. And he gave me a one-word response: boredom. Like, are you kidding me right now? If you're looking to build a network marketing business like I did, I built a 9 levels deep international network marketing business because I did the boring stuff. And those things are things like, and before I tell you what he was so bored about that I was teaching and why I think in this way, he's not going to get anywhere in his business, let me tell you a quick story. So there was this shade tree on the little hill, and he had grown to a pretty good size, and a big storm came along. And when the storm came, he was being knocked to and fro and getting a little bit worried that, hey, if this storm doesn't stop or the winds don't die down a little bit, I'm going to be in trouble here and be ripped out of the ground. But luckily, he came to get through the storm okay. Everything was great. And then he started to think, hey, maybe I should just grow myself a little bit bigger and get stronger so that when the next storm comes, I'm going to be okay, right? So he did that. And then the next storm came, and the next storm was actually a lot bigger winds. He was really getting scared during this next storm. And right when he thought he was going to be ripped out of the ground, he was able to lean right against a big oak tree that was sitting there next to him. And that oak tree was steady, and he kept that shade tree from getting in trouble. And when the storm was over, the shade tree turned to the oak tree and said, hey, how are you so strong? How are you making it so that you're not having trouble here when the storms come? And the oak tree turned to the shade tree and said, you know what? When you were spending all that time growing your branches bigger and outward and making yourself look big, I was doing the boring stuff. I was growing my roots down into the ground that nobody could see. And I got those roots really good and strong. And now when the winds come, I don't go anywhere because I was doing the boring stuff. So what was I teaching this guy in this newsletter that I sent out that he wrote back? I'm bored. This is boring, right? What was it? Well, what I was teaching in this particular email, and it was a series of emails I had done for a week. I think this was the third or fourth email in the series where I was really focusing in on the boring concept of being consistent in your network marketing business. The big thing that I was teaching in that particular email was a 10-minute exercise around consistency, a very simple way to stay consistent in your business and get the results that you're looking for, right? What are the results you're looking for as a network marketer? What are the exciting results that the shade tree wanted to show everybody? Well, you want to get sales of the products that you're selling. You want to get people coming onto your team, right? So you start building a passive income, overrides, right? Override commissions, all the fun stuff. Building the team, camaraderie, leadership, all the stuff that gets you the awards and helps you rank advance and all that kind of stuff, right? But how do you get there? You do the boring stuff. You do the boring stuff like the oak tree did, pushing the roots down and getting strong. Things like building your skills when you're not a good leader yet, and you're out there reading books and taking courses on how to become a better leader. Or you are understanding that, hey, I'm not good enough yet at sales and marketing, and I need to build my skill set in how to be a better salesperson and or marketer, right? See, when you say learning those skills is boring, it's like I go to my wife and say, let's have a great lawn, but I don't want to do any of the boring stuff like get out there and fertilize the thing or make sure the weeds aren't growing up around the grass or do any lawn mowing. That's boring. I don't want to do any of that. I want the exciting stuff. I want my neighbors to look at my lawn and say, wow, that guy Matt's got a really great lawn, and get all the credit and the attention. That's what I want. But I'm not going to do the boring stuff. Or, hey, I want to have a great garden this year, but I don't want to do any of the boring stuff like tilling it at the beginning of the season or laying any seed down and I got to figure out how to water this big. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to pick my stuff at the end, at the harvest time, and eat my beans. Like, are you kidding me right now? If you're looking to build a network marketing business and you think things like, hey, and I say this in all my videos, one of the first things you got to do if you want to build a big network marketing business like I did, I built a 9 levels deep international network marketing business because I did the boring stuff. And those things are things like you got to understand who your target audience is. You got to take time to Figure out who that is. What's the one specific problem you're solving through your product line for the one specific person who wants that problem solved? Like a lot of people look at that as the boring stuff, or you got to be consistent or become a better leader and all that kind of stuff. Look, if you think that's boring, you're not going to go anywhere, right? That's why I talk all the time about the digital recruiting boot camp that I put into the pinned comment in the description below this video, because in that 5-day series, what we teach there is all the fundamental stuff you got to know. Like, how do I figure out who my target audience is? And how do I link their problem that they want to solve over to our product line so that when I show them the product line, I speak to them in a way that they're thinking about the problem. What are they waking up in the morning feeling all anxious about? How do I get inside their mind so I can really speak their language? That's what we teach in the digital recruiting bootcamp that, once again, you can go and take a look at after this video down in the pinned comment in the description. Okay. I have a mentor who used to be a Navy pilot. He talks about this concept all the time, doing the boring stuff to get good in business. And one of the things he talks about in his experience of learning how to fly in the Navy, fly those jets, is they had to really drill down into the fundamentals, the boring stuff. What's the boring stuff when you're flying a jet? The boring stuff is taking off and landing. The fun stuff, the exciting stuff, is being up in the air, looking around and saying, I'm flying this jet, right? But if he doesn't learn how to take off properly, if he doesn't learn how to land properly, especially, that fun stuff is going to come to an end real quick when he crashes that plane, when he comes down, right? So you got to do the boring stuff. And this particular mentor always has drilled into me, Matt, you've got to rep and rep and rep on the boring stuff, because that'll give you the skill set that leads to winning and getting the sales and getting the money coming in and getting your business to where you want it to be, so that everybody looks at you and says, look what this person did. They built this great business. All your friends stop laughing. Your friends start looking up and saying, hey, how'd you do that? How do you have money coming in like that? Because they didn't see you doing the boring stuff, becoming a better leader, learning how to become a better salesperson, learning how to put together an online social media funnel, so that when you talk about solving the specific problem for a specific audience on social media, and they raise their hand and say, I want to know more, and they click on your link to go look at more, and they see how you can help them solve the problem that they get up in the morning worried about, right? They buy. They join your team, right? That's what starts to happen when you do this right. But if you think that stuff is boring, you're going to be in big trouble, you know? And this person that sent me that email, boredom. I just looked at it. I didn't feel bad, because I've been around the block a few times. I know how this works. I didn't laugh. I actually felt bad. I felt bad. I thought, you know what? This person, of course, wants to win. They wouldn't have gotten on my list to get more information about how to build a network marketing business from someone who has done it. But then he's making a stupid mistake here. He's making a stupid decision to not listen to the advice of someone who's actually gotten to where he wants to go. That's the danger here. See, pride can get us, right? Pride is probably the worst sin in the world in God's eyes, right? I mean, the enemy, Satan, how did that all happen? He wanted to be like God. That's pride. And what I've discovered, as you can tell, I'm an older guy, okay? What I've discovered is you need to be humble. I was very prideful in my younger years, and I struggled a lot. And I can tell you that pride, that saying is true. Pride comes before the fall. And if you start to build your business in a way where you're just looking for the accolades that comes from the success that you're looking for, and your focus is just the sales and the team members coming in, and you're looking for that, that's kind of, it's looking at your business in a prideful way, and you'll never get to the success you want, unfortunately, thinking like that, because you're not humble enough to look at your faults and your deficiencies in some of the areas that it takes to build a successful business. And that's when you call those things, those fundamentals, those basics. I had another mentor, by the way, who always taught Get good at the basics. If you call the basics boring, that's pride getting in your way there. And you're not willing to sit down, be honest with yourself, and say, yeah, I need to get better at these things. I'm not consistent enough. I don't have a 30-day content calendar, which was also in that email that this guy called boring. And I was teaching him how to put together a good content calendar for his social media marketing. I hope this was a message that helps you understand that getting the results you're looking for in your network marketing business is not going to happen by magic. It's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen if you're prideful. It's when you humble yourself and you are honest with yourself in where you need to up-level your skill set, and then you go to work and you get consistent drilling your roots down into the ground by doing the boring stuff. And you know what's funny? I love the boring stuff. I've learned to come to love the boring stuff, getting better at my messaging, getting to understand my target audience better, because I've come to understand that doing some of that research and just staying on top of it and how things change in the marketplace allows me to make more and more sales because I understand who I'm speaking to. So if you would like to start learning more of the boring stuff that leads to the exciting results that you're looking for in terms of sales and team members on your team, I really do encourage you to, after this video is over, drop right down into the pinned comment or the description and take a look at that digital recruiting bootcamp that we have for you. Just go take a look at that, get the information you need, because it's going to teach you how to get your roots deep, understand how to become a better leader and marketer on social media so you can bring in the leads and the sales and get to all the exciting stuff and start rank advancing. Okay? So go ahead and take a look at that. What I'm also going to do is I did another video where I talk specifically about what we teach in the digital recruiting bootcamp, all about the attraction marketing funnel. And there's 3 phases to it. There's an attract phase, there's an influence phase, and an enroll phase. So the first phase I call the most important because you can't get to the enroll phase where people are coming in until you understand the attract phase. So I'm going to put a link right here to a video I did all about how to understand the attract phase, how to get on social media, and how to start attracting your best fit prospect that'll come in and get excited about buying your product so that you can bring them in as a team member as well. Put that video right here. Go there next. I'll see you over there. Keep learning this stuff. Get your roots deep. Do the boring stuff so you can get to the exciting stuff.